I'm Matthew Forbes, and today we're talking about what are the 3 things you got to do to get good at this whole cold calling thing. Let's get into it. All right, what are the 3 things? Number 1, right here. What'd you say? Sounds so simple, doesn't it? What are the words your reps are using? Are they the right words for the target? Certainly you need to have a script. If you don't have a script, they're going to start saying anything. You're never going to get to what's good. So we need to take a look at this as sort of like a scientific experiment, right? We need to split test A, B, until we really get to what works. And in order to do that, you need to run that experiment over and over and over. So you need some volume of conversations, but what are the words that your reps are using? That accounts for about 20% of it, believe it or not. It's only about 20%. It's important, right? But what's the other 80% in sort of part 1 here? The other 80% is, how'd you say those words? Do they have conviction, your reps? Do they believe in what you're doing? How do they sound? We've all gotten calls where you know that rep has no belief in what they sell. Total waste of time, right? Especially when you get into the higher levels of management. Right, you get into the C-suite, they can smell that from a mile away, right? You better believe in what it is you're selling. In fact, I'll take non-sellers, non-salespeople, business owners who are just starting up, and I'll put them on the phone making cold calls, and they have a huge conversion rate. Why? It's certainly not because they're good at selling. That is for damn sure. They're good at it because they believe and they have conviction. I've taken companies where you can feel it on the phone. We listen to, 100 calls in a morning, right? And you can just sense that those reps don't believe. We will then take a customer testimonial, bring it in, play it for the reps. That customer testimonial, oh, they saved me all this money or all this time. My life is so much better. And in the afternoon, those same reps will go have another 100 sales conversations and book a bunch of meetings. What's the difference? The difference is now they believe. And it's really, really key that they do. That's a great sales hack for sure, is to be able to do that. So part 1, what'd you say? And how'd you say it, right? And then the third one, part 2, really simple, straightforward. Who'd you say it to? That's it. The words you use for a CEO are certainly not the words you use for a line level manager, right? So all this stuff needs to be mapped out. But that's actually how you do it. That's how you get into mastering cold calls. And it's hard, right? We talk about this all the time. It's really, really hard. What do you need for this? You need game tape. You need to take people out of Major League Baseball and put them in batting practice. Your reps have to get on base. It is what it is. Like, I'm not even a baseball fan and I'm using this analogy. Like, they have to be able to connect. Now, they don't have to hit home runs every time, right? But they have to get on base. They have to move the ball forward. If they're just striking out every day, it's not going to work out, right? So how do we fix that? Well, 1, you get them in there taking a lot of swings. They got to go talk to a lot of people. It is what it is. Reps who don't talk to very many people in a day, which, by the way, is most SDRs and certainly most AEs, they tend not to be awesome at making cold calls. Why? They don't get a lot of practice. It's not rocket science here, right? Making cold calls is sort of a contact sport. We've talked about it before, right? Reps get bloody. This stuff is pretty brutal. It takes a lot of time to get a decision maker to answer the phone, right? So they need to go talk to a lot of people, and then you need to record those calls. You need game tape. And then you got to do the thing that almost no company does, which is you got to listen to the recorded calls, right? Like, everyone should sort of innately understand, if you go talk to more people and you record the calls and you listen to them and you coach your reps, that you're going to get better. This is not some earthly secret here, right? The question is, like, how do you operationalize? Like, how do you actually go do it? So again, what'd you say? How'd you say it? Who'd you say it to? Left to their own devices, I swear, after listening to thousands of sales reps make cold calls, and certainly making tens of thousands myself, if you let a rep book a meeting and they use the word banana, as absurd as this example is, I bet they use the word banana on the next call. Why? Because they don't know what's going on. There's no frame of reference. There's no foundation, right? So when you have a team, if you have a team out there, you need to sit them down. We need to figure out, what are you going to go say? And we talked about sort of scripting in other calls, right? The conviction piece, though, I'm telling you, it's everything. right? The script will get you through the first 15, 20, 30 seconds of a cold call. The conviction will carry you the rest of the way, right? That's where people go, this guy really sounds like he knows what he's talking about. How can you know what you're talking about if you've only been on the phone with somebody for 15 seconds? It's how you say it, right? It's everything. So I hope it's helpful. At the end of the day, the rent is due. Go make a call.